Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents The Dave Holly Hour. Brought to you by TJS Ceramic Studio, Posh Boutique in the Bridges at 57th, The Sky & Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. The Dave Holly Hour features Sioux Empire arts and entertainment conversations. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, Dave Holly.
It is great to be back, and it was great to have had an 8-day vacation. Such a great time, and it was great for the mental health as well. But it's back to business now, back to bringing you great conversations with artists from the Sioux Empire. And today we hear from actor Grace Kjelden and then singer Allegra Sekely. But first, let's pop the cork on this bubbly little show. Time to grab your favorite beverage, lift it high, and toast it to being Thursday, a.k.a. Weekend Eve.
Hey, the weekend isn't around the corner, it's here!
So long, hump day and your frumpy way. We say hello to Thursdays with opening nights. The weekend is near and we can see the bright lights. Yes, Thursday, you're so hearty, we can't wait for Friday, so a day early, we start the party. The time of day, the location, and what you might be doing all might determine what you're drinking. But whatever it is, lift that glass or mug or whatever it may be high to toast my friend Jason Fitzer. He's been on the show a few times. Now, just over a year ago, he was on to talk about taking his photography full-time, taking that leap of faith, and it has worked out well for him. And it's also meant that he's been on the road a lot, been to a lot of shows. That's what's made him successful. But guess what? Now he's going to have his own place right here, starting his own gallery. Serendipity Studio Gallery and Gifts is opening in the Shriver Square on Phillips Avenue in downtown Sioux Falls. Congrats to you, Jason. You are a great example of how hard work pays off. To you, my friend. The Weekend Eve Toast is brought to you by The Sky & Tea. The Sky provides all-caps fun, and that is best had with friends. Have fun playing darts, shooting pool, listening to great live music from local musicians, thinking you're a great singer by doing karaoke. And I tell you what, if you happen to need extra room to hold a company party or maybe a benefit, The Sky's back room fits the bill. No matter what's going on at The Sky, it's local and it's lively. Honorable mention. What made Dave smile, laugh, guffaw? Well, all of the above this past week. To Improv Falls, their Halloween show last Friday was an absolute gutbuster. They continue to bring it in every one of their shows, but the way that they tied in the Halloween theme to their sets, shall we say eerily spooky? Anyway, fun times. If you've never seen them before, you owe it to yourself to catch them. Watch Facebook. They typically are trying to have like a show a month. Okay? But there we go. Honorable mention this week to Improv Falls. Coming up later in the show, we hear from singer Allegra Sekely. But up next, actor Grace Kjelden on the Dave Holly Hour.
Check out the new ceramic studio in Sioux Falls, conveniently located off Kiwanis Avenue on 5th Street. TJS Ceramics, inside Oscar's Mini Storage. We have thousands of classic vintage ceramic mold items and several new items too. TJS Ceramics offers classes, special open studio nights, and completed ready-to-purchase items. Bisque, studio time, or painting parties are available. Visit TJS Ceramics Studio in person today or email tjsceramics@gmail.com for more details.
Broadcast Theater presents The Deer and the Antelope Play, Friday, November 17th, Saturday the 18th at the History Club of Sioux Falls. Shows both nights at 7. It's a story of an East Texas family, a mother, daughter, and grandmother who face tragedy and assorted misfortunes head-on with the help of a strange young woman, a possible ex-hooker, who defines herself as one who drinks from the well of life in big gulps. Tickets only $20, available on Eventbrite or at the door.
Are you an artist? Need some funding to further your art? There's a great opportunity for you through a Sioux Falls Arts Council program. The Artist Microgrant program gives away several microgrants to local artists, no matter what art discipline you're in. Unlike more traditional grants, a microgrant is very easy to apply for. Go to artssiouxfalls.org. If you haven't done so yet, create a listing on the Artist Directory, which is beneficial in its own way. Then go to the Artist Microgrants page and apply online. The process is simple. Find out more about the Sioux Falls Arts Council as well online at artssiouxfalls.org.
Support the Dave Holly Hour in a very easy way. Buy Dave a cup of coffee by clicking the cup at davehollyhour.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Yes, I have to say it. It's part of my routine now. It's always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire arts and entertainment, and even more so of a pleasure to have a first-time guest on. That's the case today, as we speak with actor Grace Kjelden. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I am fine and dandy and fine all together. You know, do it forward and backward. It just it works. And you and I got to know each other a little bit. Well, not quite a full year ago now, but it was way back in January and February, as we happened to be in a Premier Playhouse premieres show. And so we were both cast in that, and of course, you know, just camaraderie amongst the cast and everything. It's like, oh, what a great gal. And you been doing anything since then? He asked sarcastically.
A couple projects.
You have been a busy lady.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my. Let's see. So you name them in order. I've got a good part of them in my head, but it's just like I can't keep up with you.
So since the premieres, I have done At Long Last Leo at Mighty Course and Art Players.
Right.
And then I helped out with the Penguin Project through the Premier Playhouse over the summer. And then I was in The Little Mermaid, again with the Premier Playhouse. And now I'm working on the Deer and Antelope play with Broadcast Theater.
Okay, broadcast. Yeah, so you're hitting them all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what has been the most fun part for you this past year then?
Oh, that's...
Because you've done so much.
Honestly, getting to know the community better and just getting to make so many friends and become part of such a big family.
Yeah. And what's great is you are one of those, you went to USD and you had, from at least the looks of it on your social stuff and so forth, it looks like you had a pretty good career there.
Yeah.
And did a lot in the theater department. And now you're out and about doing it here, and we're so thankful for it. But I have to say that in The Little Mermaid, that was a killer role for you.
See, and that's very different from the roles I normally play.
Yeah. And I think maybe that's why it was. And I know that, you know, quite often when we ask questions about that people will say that they like to act out of character.
Yeah, it was a fun challenge. That was only the second time I've ever played a villain before. My casting type is usually kind of the more like funky, quirky side characters.
Right.
And like very much ensemble type stuff. So it was fun to kind of play around with like being a slinky, slimy villain for a change.
What's it going to be like? And give us a little bit of a hint as to what you're going to be doing here with the Broadcast Theater spot then.
So The Deer and the Antelope play is a play about 4 women. Their names are Eleanor, Carol, Canetta, and Mindy. And Mindy and Carol, they're mother and daughter. I'm playing Mindy, the daughter. And their house just burnt down, so they go to live with Eleanor, who is Mindy's grandma. And Eleanor takes on a boarder, and that's Canetta. And the play is kind of about them getting to know each other better and kind of moving forward from a tragedy like that.
You are really getting around, though, in terms of the different theater companies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So who have you not been in yet that you wish to be?
Ooh. I think Bear Bodkins.
Oh,
I do love Shakespeare.
Shakespeare,
Mm-hmm.
and always a good thing that they do. Jana always puts together a great show no matter what. And when it comes to the Shakespeare in the park, I love the fact that they do it in the park. You know, that's the name, Bear Bodkins. Get back to the old style of Shakespeare. You've got everybody playing several parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what is the one that you would like to play if it ever came up?
Oh, gosh. I would say either Luciana in A Comedy of Errors or Isabella in Measure for Measure.
Oh, Measure for Measure. That's not one that comes up very often.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great to play, but you just don't hear that one a lot. My whole Shakespeare career included being a constable in Much Ado About Nothing.
Okay, yeah.
And some other part, too, that I played. Because like you say, when it's coming to Shakespeare, you're going to be doing more than one thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's always, and I just thought of this the other day, too. I mean, I think about it often, but just the other day, it really hit me. Why is it that Shakespeare, hundreds of years later, everything still applies to what we're all going through?
I think that's just part of the human condition.
Yeah.
A lot of these feelings are universal. He was just such a great writer that yes, there's a disconnect, obviously, but from our modern language to his language back then. But the themes he was talking about and kind of the relationships he built and the characters he built all still have relevancies today.
Right. And just the way that you talk about the language, it's not so much a barrier. It just takes a little bit to get into the groove.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Absolutely.
in many ways, it's like poetry, which he also wrote, novels, poetry. The man just always had a pen in his hand, apparently. Can you imagine him if he would have had a word processor now?
Oh, my gosh.
Hundreds and thousands of words, probably. So let's start from the beginning then. What got you into acting?
So I started my journey within the arts. I started taking piano lessons in second grade.
Okay.
And then I did some church choir type stuff.
Right.
And I think it was towards the end of fourth grade. My sister was in high school in Vermilion, and they had posters up for the auditions for Oklahoma at the Vermilion Community Theater. My sister was like, hey, you should audition for that. I think that's something you'd really enjoy, because I loved singing and music so much. But I remember I was like, no, I think I would get such bad stage fright. That just sounds terrifying. But then my mom brought it up to my piano teacher, and she was like, no, I really think you should try that, Grace. So I auditioned, and I was in the children's ensemble, and we were in two numbers the whole show, The Farmer and the Cowman and the finale in Vows.
Yeah.
But I just loved every second of it. I was acting my little heart out in the very back, sitting on a hay bale for Farmer and the Cowman.
So it started off in a musical journey for you first, then.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. And did you have to move on? Because if you take piano at second grade, do you have to be in fifth grade and be in the band?
So Vermilion doesn't start band until middle school, but yes, I was in band.
You were in band. All right. And what instrument did you play there?
Alto saxophone.
Alto sax. Excellent. Yeah. Like jazz?
Oh, yeah. I love jazz band.
Oh, yes.
Big
I did
jazz
too.
band
Yeah,
nerd.
I did too. All right. And so what's the challenge to you when it comes to getting into character? How do you like to build on that and really delve into them?
It really depends on the character. Different characters require different things.
Right.
Like for a Shakespeare character, there's a fair amount of research that goes into it just because, our society is structured so differently from then. I kind of have to look into, okay, what was this person's role in society, and a lot of just language research into what are the words they're using, are they addressing people formally or informally, all these moving components. Whereas Mindy right now, the character I'm playing in the Deer and Antelope play, that's a more modern play, and there are definitely similarities between Mindy and I, so it's kind of, how do I get into character but also safely get myself out of character so I'm not dealing with too much emotional turmoil.
Yeah, because I know sometimes people will get into a character and they'll be into it hours before they take the stage.
Oh, yeah.
They're working on it that hard.
Mm-hmm.
Are you one of those? Or
No, I am not a method actor.
You got to chill out with something first. And all right, what's the go-to song if you're listening to something before you go into the warm-ups with everybody else?
Again, it really depends on the
On
show and the character.
Okay.
For Mindy, it'll probably be some Alanis Morissette.
Uh-huh.
The show takes place in the 90s, and Mindy is definitely experiencing some emotional turmoil. So I think Alanis is perfect for that. For playing Jetsam in Little Mermaid, we just had Broadway show tunes blasting, because that's you kind of have to get to that heightened, super physical musical comedy space for that.
What was it that you decided to just keep going after college then?
Well,
were you looking to get into theater full time? Are you looking to get into it full time somewhere?
So no, for the longest time, my biggest dream was to be just an actress, pay the bills with acting. But towards the end of my senior year at USD, we did this thing called Showcase. And what that was we sent reels of ourselves doing songs and monologues and stuff to agents in New York, Chicago, and LA. And just kind of getting the feedback on what the industry was like at the time, the professional industry. I just think it just wasn't the right fit for me. And that's why I love the theater scene here in Sioux Falls so much, as it's just a big community. We're a big family. It's not, super competitive because we all are trying to pay our bills. We do it because we love each other and we love what we do. Yeah,
one of the things that we talk about so often on this program is we say it's collaboration, not competition. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, everybody wants, obviously, to have some income and so forth coming in, but if you love what you're doing, you're just having a good time regardless, and it shows. And even as you talk more in the broad scope of everybody that's involved, I think there is not a community that shows it better than this community.
Yeah, it's a really unique place here, and I'm really, really loving it.
And it's so fun to see, having grown up in Northwest Iowa and coming up here, this is, the big city. And while the city has grown, the arts and entertainment scene has exploded, especially the last decade or two. Mm-hmm. And it's been so great to watch it. It's been so great to see how many people of all ages are getting into it, and it's fun as I sit here and take a look at you, not all that far removed from college and what you're wanting to do in it, and realizing that, the dream of being a full-time entertainer, actor, singer, visual artist or whatever isn't for you. And I applaud you for that, for knowing that, because I think that makes it even more special for you anytime you do take the stage. So what are you like as a director? Because you did direct something this year.
I was an assistant choreographer.
Assistant choreographer. Yeah. Okay.
I am not a director. I directed a 10-minute play in high school, and that is my only directing experience.
Okay. I'm glad I asked that, and I don't do a ton of homework on people when it comes to being on this show, because I like it to be real. And but it did make me think then of, in terms of the other things in theater. Because obviously when you go to college and you're majoring in theater, or just taking a bunch of theater, you have to basically learn every aspect of it. Mm-hmm. And so most people have told me about, I did this and I did that, and a lot of technical different things. So you've helped out with choreography. Mm-hmm. But is there one particular part of theater that you've thought, I'm not going to be on stage, but I wouldn't mind doing that? What would that be?
Probably either props or costumes.
Okay.
But I have done a little bit of stage management, and I did enjoy that as well.
Yeah.
So
let's go back a little bit to I want to say last year. I mean, we still have a couple months left, but earlier this year, Mighty Corson Art Players and Long Last Leo, I thought was just a fantastic fantastic production. That was probably a little more intense than everything you've been in since, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And how was that in a small theater, relatively small cast, but just, hard-hitting, intense all the way through? Were you exhausted at the end of a show?
Not particularly. I would say musicals are the most exhausting shows to do because they're just so demanding. Like when
Right.
I did Young Frankenstein last fall, I was like swaying on 2 feet after every show. That was a chaotic show where I was just running around the whole time. But I would say, yeah, there's definitely a bit of an emotionally draining aspect to
Right.
shows like that. So again, it's one of those things you really kind of have to set up a self-care routine for after a show of, okay, I just did this really intense emotional thing for an hour and a half, 2 hours. How am I going to bring myself back down?
Right. And then you have to go up and greet the audience.
Yes.
And so forth. So by the time you finally get to sit down, what's your relaxation?
Usually having like a glass of wine,
Uh-huh.
or if we do go out with the cast, some sort of drink, and just kind of finding a good laugh, relaxing.
And sadly, Mighty Course and Art Players recently lost a dandy in Brian Shipper. And what did you learn from Brian and everybody else that, for the most part, are big MCAP veterans?
I learned that the experience of bringing the show together is absolutely as important as the product. Being in a tight cast like that, you just really become a family, and it's an incredible support system.
What's the play or musical that you would love to be in that haven't yet?
Probably Something Rotten.
Ah,
Combining musicals and
Right.
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Two of my favorite things.
okay. Any particular part that you want to play in that or anything else? that you
Either
haven't had
for
the
Something
opportunity?
Rotten, either Portia or a dancing egg, just because that would be so much fun.
As soon as you said it, I got the vision. Oh my God, she's going to wear a Humpty Dumpty costume.
Yeah, that's one of my dream shows. I'd also really love to be in Rent, just the ensemble. I
Who wouldn't?
love that show.
Just to sing that one
Mhm.
song, Seasons of Love.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The whole show.
yeah. It's great stuff. There's
Mhm.
no doubt about that. All right. So, if you were the egg, and you mentioned that you would like to dabble in costuming and so
Oh, yeah?
forth, what would be the costume that you would come up with without making it look so traditional?
Oh, gosh. You might have stumped me here, Dave.
Well, I tell you, one of our neighbors a couple of years ago, as we were, headed toward Halloween here, and by the time this airs, it'll be after Halloween, but when she was pregnant a couple of years ago, she wore this all white and then a big yellow spot over her tummy. And I just got such a kick out of that. That was so fun. But I just have the feeling you'll come up with something. Do you consider
yeah.
yourself an imaginative person?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So if you imagine yourself 5-10 years from now, what's going to be going on for Grace Kjelden?
Hopefully more theater.
Yeah.
Theater has kind of been the consistent in my life, and it's what I love to do.
What draws you to keep going to the next show? I mean, because you honestly haven't taken much time off this year, have you?
No, not really. I don't, like I said, it's just what I love to do. I love to be surrounded by people who love it too. And it's really a social thing for me too. I mean, I don't know how to make friends if I'm not doing theater. Yeah, and I love to tell stories. And I think one of the most special things about theater is that it really does combine so many different types of art. Because yes, there's acting, and if it's a musical, there's going to be music and singing, but there's also visual art and like the set design and the costuming and just even like sound design and lights. Like it's so multifaceted and it just brings so much together.
Well, if I recall the post that was on about Little Mermaid that Kevin had put out, like 463 different cues.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout that show.
I believe that.
Wow. That's a lot to keep on top of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you've got the people that have to do that. You got the actors, singers. You've got musical directors and so forth. And what do you like to approach rehearsals as? Do you start off with, okay, let's just kind of ease into it, or you want to go full bore right off the top?
I'm definitely someone to ease into it. I kind of like to get a feel for the cast and see, what the director or directors are envisioning before I really start to do too much of my own work. And I also just kind of like to, it's hard for me to memorize lines before I have blocking. I can. It's just, it comes a lot faster when I can picture things in my head.
Yeah. And then especially dialogues and, back and forth between everybody. And you ever been in a farce?
Yes.
Okay. Because those, to me, are just amazing when it comes to the timing of the blocking, the dialogue, and all the different shenanigans that go on. And just get such a kick out of that. And, Old Town Dinner Theater does farces a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Have you auditioned there?
Not yet, but I am thinking about it.
Okay,
we'll see. There's a lot of really great things happening.
Right. True. Yes.
In this upcoming season.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that because you've already got it planned out, I'm sure.
Oh,
so you've got that. And then Monstrous?
Yeah.
Monstrous Little Theater?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're on the tab too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. I always think it's just a great thing if you can be so well-rounded in your skill set and then so well-rounded in the places you're willing to have that skill set improve and just continue your craft with. And Grace, you do it, well, I'll say it with Grace.
Oh, thank you.
Even when you're a villain, you still have a graceful way about you on stage. And so fun to have seen you in that. Look forward to seeing you coming up with broadcast theater as well. But let's go to the other questions that we like to end with. And sometimes question number one means we don't have to ask the second one. When you are not part of the entertainment and arts scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
Are you asking about like TV,
Other
music?
Yeah, TV, music, and so forth. What trips the trigger?
Yeah, TV and music. Sometimes movies. Yeah, I definitely have a music taste that's kind of all over the place.
Good for you.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big Swiftie. I love Taylor Swift.
Did you get to a concert yet?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw
goodness.
her in Chicago in June. It was nuts.
How far away?
Oh, Chicago's like
No,
8
I meant how far away from her were you?
Oh, so I had seats in the lower bowl, actually. I was someone who managed to get really lucky in the absolute war that went on in Ticketmaster back last fall. And I got some really good seats in the lower bowl for
fantastic.
An actually reasonable price.
Good for you.
Yeah.
All right. So besides the person that's all over the internet and NFL games right now, what else do you like to listen to?
I'm a big fan of Noah Kahn.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of more like indie folk type stuff. Phoebe Bridgers, Boy Genius. That's more like indie alternative type stuff. I do listen to classic rock. I would say my favorite artists are Taylor Swift and the Beatles, so that's maybe a little bit unique. I love Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, that's
Eagles.
a good one. Yeah. Oh, Eagles. See, now you hit my heart. Love the Eagles. All right. So then, any other hobbies?
I crochet on and off.
Okay.
I try to read as much as I can. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised you actually answered that because quite often when we have people on that are as busy as you, they're always saying, I really don't have time for it.
Oh, yeah. That's why the crocheting is off and on, and I read as much as I can.
Tough to work it in, isn't it? That's for sure. All right. Grace Kjelden, thank you so much for spending time to be on the Dave Holly Hour.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with more of the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Comedy magician and hypnotist Jesse Moffat's right. He can't play the piano, but he can sure entertain crowds with his amazing magic and clever quips. His shows always make the participants the stars, especially when they've fallen asleep on stage. They've been hypnotized. Are you the party planner in your group? Then you owe it to your group to make the event magical, even if it puts you to sleep. Here's how.
For booking information, go to Jesse Moffitt Entertainment on Facebook. That's JESSEMOFFITT. Or call 605-929-0964.
Ladies, when it's time to give your nails some love, get that extra special treatment from Quality Nails on South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls. Manicures and pedicures that look great and make you feel fantastic. Zaya and Tony provide professional care for your hands and feet, whether you just want the basics or an extra special look with added flair. Oh, and guys, it's okay to treat yourself too. Quality Nails. Call for an appointment. 605-334-1463.
Check out the new ceramic studio in Sioux Falls, conveniently located off Kiwanis Avenue on 5th Street. TJS Ceramics inside Oscar's Mini Storage. Bisque, studio time, painting parties, and finished items are available. Visit TJS Ceramic Studio in Sioux Falls today.
It's the podcast that creatives in the Sioux Empire listen to so they can learn more about other creatives. It's the Dave Holly Hour.
Welcome back, everybody. Yes, I just have to say it because it's what I say. I'm not under contractual obligation to because it's my own show. I can do what I want. But it is always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire arts and entertainment, and it's always a great pleasure to welcome a new guest to the show. Known her since before the show even started. Didn't know when we first met that she could sing like crazy. And so we had to get her on the show at some point. Well, then she started getting involved, and she's been in so many musicals at the Premier Playhouse and doing a few other things, too, that Allegra Sekely just had to be on the show. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh, excellent. It's so good to finally get you on the show.
I know.
But I think we have some good timing for it.
It is really good timing.
Yeah, because right now you're not in any rehearsal yet, correct?
No, I'm taking a break for now.
Yeah, well, not much, though.
No.
But, you know, at least the little bit that you'll be doing in a couple of weeks will be quite easy.
Yeah.
Because you love to sing.
I do love singing.
Yes.
It's my favorite pastime of all the things.
Yeah, and, well, that's because you do it well, too.
Oh,
I remember the first time that you were at karaoke with us. It's like, oh, this would be cool. And, you know, back into the seats, everybody's blown away. Like, oh, wow. Where has she been hiding with this?
I wasn't hiding it, I promise.
So anyway, you have been, like I said, busy. I mean, I remember, I think the first thing we saw you in was Mamma Mia.
Yep.
And you haven't had a lot of time off since then.
No.
You've been in the past couple of performances. What's been the most fun for you to be in up to this point?
Oh, that's a hard one. You know, I think Little Mermaid has actually been my most fun show of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of unexpected because, you know, you've watched it and you're like,
right.
I wonder how that would turn out on stage. But it was so much. It was a blast.
What do you think you brought to it?
I think that I brought the happiness backstage, you know. Every day I just, you know, be happy. Even if someone was feeling a little down, I'm try to get their ups.
Yeah.
You know. But it was really fun. It was really, really fun.
Yeah,
I love that show.
That was a great show.
Yes.
And, you know, it's one of those things that we have such tremendous talent in this community, in the arts and entertainment world.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep thinking, I've seen the greatest thing. And then I go to the next thing, and that's like, well, maybe that's the best thing that I've seen yet. And then we go to the next thing. Sure enough, it just keeps getting topped.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's fun to see. And you're also going to be in a couple of things with me.
Yes.
First of all, in 2 weeks, you're part of the Vaughties.
Yes.
You'll be singing again. You were part of the July show, which was a smash.
Oh, it was so much fun.
And your good friend Etta is also going to be in this show. Yeah. Maddie Gerhardt's going to be in this show. Betty Kay's going to be in this show.
Oh, my gosh.
We have music all four corners.
Yes.
In fact, are you and Etta going to do some songs together?
We are. We're
You
also
are?
hoping to get Maddie in on a three-way, so I think it'll
wow.
be great.
Oh, incredible. I'm not even, I was going to sit there and say, maybe you should sing this. Maybe you should sing that. But I think you're on top of this, apparently.
We got this.
All right. I am looking forward to that then. But that's not the only thing that we're going to be involved in together. Coming up in February, it'll be the second year in a row of the premieres. Local playwrights that submit their plays. It gets whittled down. They have 5 or 6 in a finals, and then it's just a play read. And then from there, they choose 2, and we are in one of those 2 plays. We're in Hearing. I didn't even know that you had auditioned for it.
What? I know. I hadn't seen you.
Yeah, I think I was on the Thursday night. Had you gone on Wednesday night?
I think I went on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Because it's like, the cast comes out, and I'm like, oh, wow. Allegra's in this, too.
Yes. It's my first time getting to act with you.
Yes.
Yay.
And I'm looking forward to that. And it's also your first time of a straight play,
Yep.
no music.
Yes. I think I was in shock that I got in because I always try out for musicals. So this was just let me just try it. And I'm so happy I got in there. It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's
Yeah.
it's a great play written by Augustana professor Richard Swanson. And it's semi-autobiographical for him. It's about a hearing that he was in when he was living as a young man in Pipestone, Minnesota, the first conscientious objector in Pipestone County to the Vietnam War.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's told from some great perspectives of not only of him, but to also the people such as you and I.
Mm-hmm.
And you are one of the draft board members' wives, and I'm one of the draft board members.
Yep.
And lots of stuff going on in it, and I think everybody's going to thoroughly enjoy that. But what are you thinking about as you head into your first non-musical then?
I better remember my lines. There's no music to save me, so.
See, where I'm like, I'm just to the age that I don't remember everything anyway. So there might be a lot of improving going on with those lines, but
I'm okay with
we'll make it through. I promise you.
That's
because
true.
we have each other to rely on. Then
We do. And
Yeah.
honestly, improv in theater ends up being some of the best things.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. We also have some great people we're going to be acting with. Goodness gracious. Yeah, so that's a good thing that we're looking forward to that. But do you have any trepidation about getting on stage and just acting?
No,
You don't?
I think that I've been in enough plays now that I
Okay.
feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I know what needs to happen,
Right.
and I just have to make it happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you get familiar with the blocking and so forth, and now
Yes.
you don't have to dance, do you?
No. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, gosh.
The dancing and the singing, that's what always has gotten me. It's like, how do you people in these musicals do that?
We learn them at the same time. I think that's the best part. If you learn the song first,
Right.
and then learn the song with the dance, it just becomes muscle memory.
Ah, okay. See, I've never been a part of a musical that had to do anything like that.
Oh,
so.
we got to get you in one of them.
Well, there's a time consideration thing.
I understand.
Yeah. And I knew that I had some things happening that were going to help me be able to audition for and take on the role for a February play.
Yes.
If that were to happen. Anything that would happen in December, there's a guy with a white beard and a red suit that just probably wouldn't be able to do a lot of stuff.
I get that.
Yeah.
And you got to be him. You
I-
got to be.
I guess so.
You got the cheeks for it.
Oh, thanks. That's quotable.
Yeah.
You got the cheeks for it, Dave. What got you into music and to acting?
I actually started singing when I was about 3, I would say.
Okay.
Yep. My family just encouraged it.
Yeah.
I, started with some Barney songs, but we got to start somewhere,
That's
right?
true.
Yep. and my family has always encouraged me singing. I've sung through, I want to say, all choruses from elementary to high school. And after high school, I was like the assistant leader in our church band, which that really helped me, know how to do music, work with switchboards and in-ears and all that fun stuff. And I got here and I'm like, what do I do? Is it only karaoke? I got to find something. And actually, my friend Doran Starnes is the one who introduced me to the plays.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, God bless you, Doran.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a mutual friend.
Yes,
and
he is.
He's just a great guy anyway, but I did not know that.
Oh, well, you learned something.
Yes, you do. And it was so fun because, like I said, you came out that first time to karaoke, and I didn't realize you're sitting there going, oh, is it only karaoke? Some of us take it seriously. Others take it way too seriously.
That's me. Yeah, it's bad.
Oh, just go in and have fun.
I do.
That's what that part is about.
I do. I definitely, have to have a little something before I go out, but it helps.
A little liquid encouragement?
Yes, got to get the nerves out.
Exactly. When I used to play golf, a friend's father always called it a stroke smoother.
Oh, my gosh. I might call it that from now on. I can have a stroke smoother.
A stroke smoother. There we go. and of course, this won't happen backstage at all.
Oh, uh-oh.
At least not for,
no,
the theater groups and so forth. Now the Vaughties, that's a little different because the stage is right next to a bar.
You got to do it.
Yeah, I think we do.
Even if you have water, you got to have a drink.
Have you done anything at Corson?
I have not.
Okay.
I wanted to actually try out for something, but since I got in the premieres, I figured it'd be a little too close. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, there was something else that was, I think it's one of Debbie Jones's monstrous little theaters.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, that'd be cool. And I found out about it after I knew that I was going to be auditioning for premieres. And then it's like, ooh.
Yeah,
I better hold off, see if I get this before I jump into that.
They're all so close together.
Yeah, they are. So that would have been difficult. But anyway, over at Mighty Corson Art Players, there are some traditions that take place in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Yeah. You will learn about limericks.
Limericks. Okay. Uh-oh. Not the limericks. It's coming.
All because of the dearly departed Brian Shipper. And it was one of his favorite parts, and it'll be just a great, great time regardless.
Yes.
So those that have not been there yet will have to learn the tradition.
I got to learn.
Yeah, you have to. So obviously that's going to be cool, because you'll get to experience that stage. Completely different from the Orpheum or the Belbis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Seats about 100.
Okay.
Yeah. Stage isn't very big.
That's okay.
But it's a cozy little thing, and getting up and down into the dressing room and off to the wings could be a little tight sometimes, but it's a fun place. Yes. What have you enjoyed about the Orpheum as a theater itself?
Well, as a theater itself, it's very welcoming. They, make sure to get like the sign language in for people who will have a hard time hearing. I just love the environment. It's very family, if that makes sense.
Very true. Yeah, and stylish too.
Yes.
When you get there, take your tickets up there. They're dressed in tuxedos.
Ooh.
Yes, they look official, don't they?
They do. I'm always scared. I'm like, I better make sure my phone's on silent.
Have you encountered any ghosts?
No, thank goodness.
Okay.
But I've heard some things about it.
You've heard the tales.
Oh yes, Larry's definitely back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy for the ghost light though. That saves us, I think.
Yes, it does.
Yes, and I do not go backstage, especially in that little hall underneath, by myself. No.
Well, one time back when Sioux Falls had a magic club, and I happened to be in it, we were doing a show there. And all of a sudden, this radio station comes on over the PA. It's like, how did that happen? Nobody was down in the dressing room, but that's where it was coming from. And the strange thing was, it was not a local radio station. It was from Los Angeles.
What in the world?
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
my.
in fact, it was at Halloween time, too. So,
Ooh. I got the heebie-jeebies
spooky.
now.
Oh, goodness. You actually use the words heebie-jeebies.
I use the word heebie-jeebies. I use shenanigans.
Good for you.
And my grandma liked to say gallivanting, so I like to gallivant.
Yes. It's a great one.
Yes.
Yeah, gallivanting.
Yes.
How about boy howdy?
I don't know about that one.
Oh, that's a good affirmative one.
Okay, I
You
got to
want to
learn
do that? Boy howdy. Yeah.
I'm learning some a
Yeah,
lot. I
and-
never
and-
said ope until I moved here.
Yeah. And then the only person, I shouldn't say the only person, but definitely the only female that I've ever heard boy howdy come out of without me ever saying it in front of her was Betty Kay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she said it right here on this show.
Oh, that's
boy
awesome.
howdy. And it's like, you're kidding me.
Did you just say that?
Yeah. I didn't know many people even actually said boy howdy, let alone it being from, because usually it's a guy, if anything. Boy howdy.
Yeah.
Let's go have a beer. That type of thing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
No, I do enjoy a good beer.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have a favorite?
I would probably go with Guinness.
Really?
Yes, I'm
you
a dark
like the
stout
mud.
girl. I do.
Okay. Well, good.
Yeah.
We all have our tastes.
We
That's
do.
what's great.
Yes.
And that's what's great about the business that we happen to be in, arts and entertainment. Everybody has their own taste.
That's true.
And I think what's been so great is to see so many people take that in and not be afraid to take it in, because some communities will get shy, let's say, to be politically correct.
Uh-oh.
That, we can't have that here. And this, open your minds.
Yeah.
And you can go ahead. Nobody is forcing you to take something in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to, but at least give it a shot.
Yes.
Think about
so.
it before you make your major judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that does happen around here, but thankfully not so much
Yeah.
here
It's
in
very
our
few.
community. Yeah.
Very few.
Yeah, because, I think that's one of the other things that I've seen that's come along that's been cool is, like Monstrous Little Theater that Debbie Jones has. They maybe do something a little more edgy.
Okay.
Yeah. And, something that's going to hit your brain on a social issue.
Yes.
And things along that line. And so it's been great. So you've been to Sioux Falls now how many years?
This is I've been here since 2016.
Okay.
So
What had you been told about it in terms of arts and entertainment before you got here?
before I got here, I had no clue.
No idea.
No
huh?
idea. No. But I think being here now for the years I've been, this is a very artsy place.
Yes,
like
it is.
I've come from a big city. I used to live in Miami,
Mm-hmm.
and I know about things, but I'd be like, how do I get into that? Here, it's much easier for you to get into it.
Right.
Everyone's like, well, why don't you try out for this? Or we got this going on. I'm like, what?
Well, what comes up so often on this show are two words, collaboration,
Yes.
not competition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like you say, somebody said, well, why don't you try out for this? And, like in the comedy scene, they all help each other.
Yeah.
It's not a, hey, I'm sorry, but, you're not going to be in this performance. And, I won, by the way. It's not that. It's somebody will take them aside and say, hey, have you thought about doing this joke this way? Or move this part up here and in your set and different things. So it's just great that we have the luxury of that.
Yes.
Because maybe if you step it up, even to, let's say, Omaha,
Okay.
a little bit bigger town, probably a little more competition there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that.
And not so much, let's have a group hug.
Yeah. It's a little bit bigger town for that, but
yeah,
yes.
that's for sure. But we happen to be thankful that we have it here. And we're thankful that you have become such a part of it.
Thank you.
So, yeah. And so as you're looking at expanding now by going to just a straight play versus a musical,
Yeah.
let's talk about everything in general then in terms of theater.
Okay.
What's a play or a musical that you haven't been in that you're dying to be in?
Ooh, definitely Dreamgirls.
Okay.
I love Dreamgirls.
Oh, yeah.
I actually don't want to be Effie in that point.
Really?
No, I feel like that would be a good person who has that, like, how do you call it? Like the grunge, like the
right,
to
a
their
little
voice.
more raspy.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not as raspy, but I would love to see someone do that part.
Yeah.
And I'd love to be in that.
Excellent.
Yes, and then otherwise, I'd have to say probably maybe like it's hard to choose. I don't know.
A lot of great ones out there.
There's so many to choose. I know.
How about a part then? A particular
part?
role?
I would love to play. Oh my God, her name. Okay, don't hurt me out there, fans. I would love to play. Oh my gosh, I cannot remember her name right now. But she's played by Queen Latifah. Trying to think. Oh, it's in Hairspray.
Yes.
Yes.
There we go.
She's in Hairspray.
Yeah.
I would love to play that part. I think she's hilarious in
wow.
that part. It's just great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Queen Latifah is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, for one thing. But I like that. Some great answers there. So who inspires you when it comes to watching singers, actors, performers?
Okay, singers, I have a whole little list here.
That's okay. It's a podcast. We don't have to worry about time.
Okay. The top of the list would definitely be Celine Dion. I would love to see her live. I would love to see her. That's me and my grandma's favorite singer. I've been singing her since I was like 11. So that'd be the one for singers. Actors wise, I am just really happy seeing all the new actors that are coming out. I love Viola Davis.
Oh,
she's amazing.
She's incredible.
I don't think I can ever get that great, but I will attempt. She can take on any part and just make you fall in love with that character.
Yeah.
So I think I'd say that's my my inspiration.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
No.
What about when you were growing up, within your family and so forth, who inspired you to not just be singing, but to continue and want to do things with it then?
Oh, definitely. I can say my entire family.
Wow.
I have a large family. We actually just had our family reunion back in July here. And it was about 200 people.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I have a very large family and they are utmost the ones who root me on to continue. I think, I'd say other than my grandma, my aunt Lawrence, she was definitely the one pushing me all the time. She would ask me to sing here, do something there. Are you going to try out? My cousin Natalia, which is her daughter, is like, are you trying out for the voices here? And I'm like, I don't know about that. She's like, you got to try. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
Self-taught when it comes to the vocals? Or
self-taught, yeah.
Wow.
I've never really had many vocal lessons or anything. So yeah, I'd call it self-taught.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing because, I've experienced it, and I'm sure quite a few of the regular listeners have, but, there's always the people that are listening for the first time and going, well, what is she really that good? Well, trust me, yes, she is. So then come out to the Vaughties Show Thursday, November 16th at Mighty Corson Art Players Theater, 7:30. Tickets are only $15. You can follow the Vaughties online on Facebook or go to thevaughties.com. You can buy your tickets there, otherwise at the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so excited
for
that.
I am too. Yeah,
I had a great time last time.
Wasn't that an awesome show?
Yes.
And I feel for the people that missed out on something like that.
Yeah.
This will be our third show of the season, and the first two were phenomenal.
They were fun.
Yeah. I mean, we had such great talent in the first one, and it's like, oh, wow, okay, we got a lot to live up to. And then boom, sure enough, we do it again. And now when I take a look at this lineup that we have for this one coming up in 2 weeks, I'm like, oh my God,
it's
this
awesome.
is going to be incredible.
It's going to be so awesome. We have so many awesome singers and talented people, and I cannot wait. Last time I was cracking up so hard. I think the person next to me had to explain a couple jokes. I was like, what's he talking about? But it was so funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Chris Fryer will be the comic this time.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And he's a great guy. And then at the end of the show, the magic of Travis Nye. Have you seen Travis perform
I
yet?
have not.
Oh, people will be blown away by the way you sing. you'll be blown away by his magic.
Oh, I'm so excited. I love magic shows.
Good time, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right. Always like to end with the 2 traditional questions. Sometimes how you answer number 1 means we might not need to ask the second one.
Okay.
When you're not part of the arts and entertainment world, what do you like to be entertained by?
Entertained by? I am a Disney fan. I'm watching Marvel all day long and Star Wars. Definitely. I love video games. Yes. Some people are surprised that I play video games, but I play video games.
What's your go-to on the video game?
I've been playing a lot of Fortnite.
Okay.
It lets all my steam out. But also we like to play, especially around this time, this game called Phasmophobia. And it's basically a ghost hunting game. And it just keeps getting spookier and spookier. So I might play tonight. We'll see what happens.
That's awesome.
Yes.
All right. And then the follow-up question is, any other hobbies?
Oh, yes. I like to sew.
Really?
I usually sew my costume. This year I just put it together, but I usually sew it together. I've been Princess Kita. I've been Raven from DC. So I've done quite a couple things with that.
Have you ever done any cosplay at like
yes, definitely.
Comic-Con stuff?
One time I was the Great Saiyaman with my husband, my now husband. He wasn't then, but he scared a child and it was great. I don't know why, but it was great. He was just like, I'm the Great Saiyaman, and all that kid could say was, wow. It was good. I do like cosplaying. I haven't been to SuperCon yet. I know. I would really like to go, but every time I'm about to go, I'm in something. So I got to remember next time to not do that.
Yeah. Last weekend of September.
Yes.
This coming year.
Weekend of September. Okay. We could do that.
In 2024. Yeah.
We can do that. And then another thing I like to do is I like to make little clay earrings.
Really?
Yes. I just started my little business here. I'm hoping to put it up on Etsy here. And I just make little random things. Like the first time I made little carrots and just cute little things. And then for the play for Little Mermaid, I actually gave the cast members and the crew all little charms. So
nice.
Some ladies got earrings or a necklace or a charm, and it was really cute. Lots of seashells.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. All right. Allegra Sekely, thank you so much for spending some time on the show. Thank you for what you've already been in this community in musicals, and looking forward, of course, to hearing you on the 16th as part of the Vaughties, and then looking forward to acting with you next February as part of the premieres.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
All right. Thanks again for the time.
Thank you.
And we'll be back to wrap up the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Helping women feel empowered and confident is what Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th does, while supplying high-quality clothing that fits your lifestyle, personality, and price point. Whether you want comfy and cozy, casual attire, or something for a special occasion, Posh provides quality, selection, and value. They carry sizes extra small to 3X and have something appropriate for any age. Feel empowered and get confident. Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th.
Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XO Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or exokairos.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XO Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
Never met a meal he didn't like. Here he is, Dave Holly.
Thanks again to our guests, Grace Kjelden and Allegra Sekely. Most of all, thank you for listening, for the downloads, for sharing, following on social media, cups of coffee, all of that. By the way, if you haven't so far, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. For all 203 episodes, go online at davehollyhour.com. As the Sioux Falls Arts Council says, together we art. As Arts South Dakota says, home is where the art is. As I say, put some art in your heart. Remember, my name is Dave Holly, and for me, every day is a holiday.
Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by TJS Ceramics Studio, Posh Boutique, The Sky and Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. If you would like to contribute to the continued success of this podcast, simply buy Dave a cup of coffee. Go to davehollyhour.com and click on the coffee cup icon. Don't forget to stay up to date on the show by following on Instagram and Facebook. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.